Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to our second PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we already learned the meaning of destructor, syntax of destructor with a suitable example and also some of the note of destructor. We know the meaning of destructor. Special member function will be invoked automatically when an object is destroyed, and it will have like constructor, that is the name same as that of the class but preceded by a tilde operator. Why? Because we know that class name, constructor name, destructor name should be the same, but while going to write destructor special member function using one operator, the name of the operator is called as the tilde operator. Now let us see one suitable or good example for our destructor. So to show the use of destructor, and we know that whatever programs are there going to start by using header file. Header file is the IO stream to input and output the object by using header file hash include IO stream, and second header file, that is the conio.h, and for that we already written, that is the CLR SCR. So conio.h, and later next one is about our class keyword. Num, user defined name called as the class name, opening of the floor bracket, and the member data name is the X, going to declare by using data type int, and in our access specifier private. Why? Because private access specifier to declare any member data, and second access specifier public, also calling as the methods operation interface, and using maybe sometime to define or sometime to declare the member function and also some special member function. So in this example, after the public, here some of the special member functions are there and also one normal member function. So this special member function, that is the num. But because we know that I want to use constructor, so what's the name going to use for our class name? The same name addable to our constructor and as well as for the destructor. So the num open close semicolon, that is called as the constructor special member function, declaration of the constructor special member function, and second one is the void display, that is called as the member function of the class num. And the third member function, that is called as the destructor, but while going to write the num special member function, that is destructor, before that only I used operator, that is the tilde operator. So this line tells about it is the destructor special member function, that is here we declare the special member function, and closing of the floor bracket semicolon, that is the end of the class definition. That means we know that if you are going to declare any special member function or normal member function, everything going to define, that means here define outside the class. Now such one going to define, so this is the end of the class definition, floor bracket semicolon. Now one by one I am going to define the member function as well as special member function. So I want to define this special member function constructor. So we know that, why? Because the syntax of the default constructor, what's the syntax of the default constructor? Class name, scope resolution operator, class name, and no any parentheses. Why? Because in our num no any arguments are there here, so we can say that we are not going to take any argument while going to define the constructor special member function. So the class name num, scope resolution operator, class name it also the num, and open close semicolon, and later opening of the floor bracket. We know that why we defining using the constructor special member. Why? Because to initialize value to the object, correct? No, to initialize some value to the data member. So before going to initialize some value to the data member, just one simple message I want to show on the monitor, that is the cout. By using the cout, I am using the message is the in constructor. Clear this point here? In constructor, any message you can write in this case here. So in constructor, and later next one some value we need to initialize to the object. So x value is equal to 100 and closing of the flower bracket. So that means we can say that this line shows about the constructor special member function, and such one is using to initialize value to the object. Okay, so the value I initialize, that is x value is equal to 100. And the second thing, that means our destructor special member function. And why we using the destructor special member function? We know that to destroy the object, whatever the object we created, such one going to destroy by using the special member function, that is the destructor. So here also the same thing, they going to start by using the syntax, that is the class name scope resolution operator, but should remember it while going to use, why? Because while going to declare the destructor special member function, before that only I used the tilde operator. That means while going to define, we need to use the tilde operator. So tilde num open close, and we know that such a destructor special member function is using to destroy the object. So message I written as the in destructor. You can write any message, maybe the destroying of the object or any message here, and it's going to end line. Why? Because for the end line we need the header file. The header file is the iomanip.h, correct? No, hash include iomanip.h. You need to write the header file, then opening of the flower bracket and closing of the flower bracket. And later next one, why? Because the one more normal member function is that the normal member function. Why? Because whatever our num constructor special member we already defined, and second one is the destructor special member function we already defined by using scope resolution operator. Now one more member function, that means the normal member function of the class, the name of the normal member function, that is called as the display. Okay, so just I am going to define the display member function. So we know that, but here we are using whatever the code is there about our outside a class. Okay, outside class definition. So what's the code of the outside class definition? Return type void, and later next one is the class name. The class name is the num scope resolution operator, and the member function name. The member function name is the display, but no any arguments are there. So open close. Okay, and no any semicolon also. Now this line is called as the definition. So this line is called as the declaration of the member function, and this line is called as the definition of the member function. In definition of the member function, just one simple message, that is the value of x. Why? Because I already given some value to the x here. So such value I want to show on monitor. So one message going to display in our display member function, value of x, and just it going to show the value, that is the 100. If you are using double quotation the letter x, that means it not going to show the value of the x. If you are using without double quotation, then only it going to display the value of the x. And we already know that if you are using end line, then sure we need to use the header file. The header file is the hash include iomanip.h. Clear this point here? Why? Because in two ways, twicely, and I used the end line in this case here. So just only by using the header file is the iomanip.h. And later next one, so we open the flower bracket. So such flower bracket going to close, and after closing of the flower bracket we need to use the main function of the program. Okay, so just only we need to pass some of the main function. In main function, why we using the main function, and should remember it, the main function going to start by using the data type, that is the int, then sure we need to use the return 0. Okay, so opening of the flower bracket, first of all I am going to declare the object. So how we are going to declare the object? The declaration of the object going to start by using the Class name is the, what's the name of the class? The class name is the num. So such one going to declare. So here I use the object is the A. Clear this point here. And later next one CLR, SCR, we already written the header file conio.h here. And later next one is about our A.display. That means in our A.display I return some of the information. The information is the value of x. But before going to display the value of x, whatever we written as a message, it going to display. So it going to display in a output as the in constructor. That means over here just only the colon. Why? Because in double quotation, before that, before going to close the double quotation, I used the colon. So such one going to display in constructor. Clear this point here, in constructor. And after that our A.display, in display I return the message as the value of x is equal to, so the value of x is equal to 100. And in our destructor also we return some of the message. So what's the message we return? Such message going to display in destructor, we return the message as the in destructor. So in destructor here, so this is the example of our destructor special member function. Why? Because the class name, destructor name and constructor name should be the same. And later next one normal member function we need to use. And later next one about our, it is the syntax of the constructor special member function. That means our in constructor many types are there, default, parameterized, but should remember it in parenthesis no arguments are there, means sure we need to use which syntax, our default constructor. If any arguments are there means the parameterized constructor. Correct? No any difference in our default and parameterized, just the difference. The default constructor containing 0 arguments here, but our parameterized constructor have some of the arguments in parentheses. So such syntax we need to write. And later next one the same thing by using the tilde operator. And one more special member function, that is the display, going to display the answer. And later we used the object by using the class name and going to access the member function of the class. And later next one get ch, and I already said why, because the main function is the int. So we need to take the return 0, RETURN, return 0 and closing of the floor bracket. So this is the output of this program. The output in constructor, value of x is equal to 100. In destructor, what's the message you are going to write? Such message going to show on monitor. Thank you.